Charles Hetzer, PFC. I enlisted
Okay.
in the Air Corps.
And when did you enlist? When did you enlist?
It was in first part of 45, just right at the ending of the war. We went into the Air Corps. I was 16 and a half. My cousin signed my mother's name, my friend signed my dad's name. So we all three went together. We went to Fort Lewis, Columbus, Ohio, Fort Hays. And then we went to Camp Atterbury, Indiana. And then we went to Keystone Field, Mississippi. We took our basic. Then we went to Keystone Field, Mississippi to Buckley Field, Colorado. And that's where I was stationed for the rest of the period.
Now, were you the youngest?
Huh?
Were you one of the youngest enlisted at 16 and a half?
Well, we were buddies, so we all three went together.
What was your job?
Ground crew.
Ground crew? And what did that entail?
Just like maintenance on planes and taking care of the ground equipment, stuff like that. Cleaning up in the hangars. Anything that had to be done, it was given to us to do.
Make sure the planes fly right.
Yeah.
Tell me about your most memorable experience.
Well, the most memorable experience is going in front of the colonel when he found out I was underage. He said, you know, you got 10 years coming. I said, 10 years? He said, yeah, that's not Army, and that's not the Air Corps. He said, that's federal prison. I said, I didn't know that, sir. And he said, well, you know it now, don't you? And I said, yeah. So they discharged me under minority.
Wow.
So that was my career there. But when I came out, they shoved a sheet of papers out on the desk, covered all the top of them, and you just signed the bottom. And I was working with a gas company in Oberlin. When I came home from work, there was an envelope in the mailbox. I thought, well, okay, so I opened it up and said, greetings from your friends and neighbors. Here they were drafting me. So I went to Toledo. I told him, I said, I pulled my time. He said, no. He said, wait a minute. He took one of the papers and he said, that's your signature? And I said, yes. He said, that's a 10-year reserve obligation. So I was drafted for Korea. And I spent 2.5 years in Korea.
Wow. Can you describe what Korea was like?
Korea? Cold, winter, hot in the summer. Green bulbs about that size all over the land. They cling to you. The rice paddies. And then we had Korean cooks and things to help cook. And when they was off duty, they take a fish and throw it on the stove, like an Eskimo stove. They throw it on there. They didn't clean them, not cut the heads or anything. They just threw them on there. It was an experience. I never ate rice and fish since.
And what was your job in Korea?
I was a gunner.
Can you
955 field artillery. There was a 155 howitzer. And I was a gunner in the howitzer division.
Wow. Oh my gosh. Now, what was your most memorable experience as a gunner?
Well, the most memorable was going to well, we got in a firefight that night. We was on Heartbreak Ridge. That was we had 2 days of firefight. We was firing the guns, and we had the infantry around us, and we was right on top of Heartbreak Ridge, right on top of the hill. So that was about the most memorable, except we bugged out. We had to leave. But things that we saw things that we saw at that time we weren't allowed to talk about. We couldn't tell nobody, even the buddies. We wasn't to discuss anything that was we found on Heartbreak Ridge. The Korean soldiers, American soldiers, was all buried in one mass grave. So that was a heartbreaker. We noticed some of them never went home. They were buried there. But it was Heartbreak Ridge, Chorwan, White Horse Mountain, Cobalt Valley, Papasan. That was our artillery, or aircraft, or guide our artillery. It was landing strip on top of Papasan. That was an experience.
Wow. And what do you think of honor flight?
Sir?
What do you think of honor flight?
Oh man, it was marvelous. It would break your heart. It was nice. The people that done it. The people that's out here now. They make you hungry. They're good people. Especially this community of Westerville. They've done a tremendous job. I got letters from everybody up there, so I answered some of them. But like our guard, Terry Coakley, he was a good guy. He was a great guy. So then we had our guide in Washington was Sarah. She was from Annapolis, the Navy. She had respect. She treated us right. Anything we wanted, she was right there. Sheep Boost Roy, that was the guy before me here. Sheep Boost him all day long in the wheelchair and stuff. They're to be congratulated too for what they done.